Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a review of the Doctor Who The Planet of the Daleks, so History of the Daleks set 8, I want to say. These two are the Day of the Dalek ones. This is the normal sort of, oh no, those are the planet, sorry, that's Day. Very confusing. But one distinctive thing is that the rings, these are sort of a larger sort of just 3-stack thing, whereas that's different. As well as I've noticed just before filming this, the sort of more of a silverish grey sort of gun stick, whereas the one in Day even, is more of a black, just a pure black, and I'm not sure if that's more accurate to the episode or not, or if that's just something they did on the action figure. I think the sort of bottom skirt bit is the same, likewise with everything else really, except that obviously these ones have, recently it was revealed on Batman Marches, Matthew Toffolo, also known as Matthew Toffolo, his YouTube channel, that the back of these have these hinges, so then you can do this with them. And then there's a sticker of the Dalek mutant inside, which I think is really cool. I know my mum was saying like, oh, it'd have been cool if they could have actually had like a proper Dalek mutant thing inside, but then it's like, yeah, but all the retooling and and all manner of stuff, they'd have had to do the hinge stuff and then also sort of, as I say, like hollow out the inside bit of thing. I mean I like it because it's sort of like weirdly reminiscent of the older toy line version of like a new series one, where you used to take out the midsection, and Dalek, from the episode like Dalek, you'd see the Dalek mutant from that. So that's really cool. I think the eyes might be slightly different. I'm not 100% sure on that though. Or maybe they're just the exact same. I still can't really tell. The manipulator arms still go up and down, left to right, and the gun sticks also do the same, just up, down, left to right. And that, in terms of articulation, if you will. You've also got 3 wheels on the bottom, and that. And other than that, really, the rings and the sort of ability to do that, you don't really have too much difference between the Day of the Daleks gunmetal grey ones and the Planet of the Dalek ones. So I'm assuming logically the next one is Death of the Daleks, which, although isn't one of my favourite Dalek stories, I do quite like the design, or the unique design of the sort of Death of the Dalek ones. I think it takes the sort of silver design of the 60s ones, but then sort of mixes it with parts of like almost this sort of gunmetal thing. So it's like a nice mixture of 60s and 70s Daleks, I think, which works really well as a one-off, I think, and that sort of design. And I know way back when there was a Death of the Daleks Dalek released alongside a Death of the Daleks variant of Pertwee in the costume from said episode, Death of the Daleks. But it was way back when, and it was a Forbidden Planet exclusive, and obviously back in the day I never got it, basically. So it'd be awesome, absolutely awesome, to get a Dalek 2-pack from Death of the Daleks next, I think, personally. Although I guess then you get into the sort of iffy territory of what the hell will we do when we get to Genesis, because obviously Genesis has already a plethora of Daleks as is. So, but yeah, and it's just a nice sort of homage and sort of thing to part of the episode and that, and it's cool that the head still does move. You can still move the head, even though there is a hinge on the back. I know some people might complain like, oh, well, this looks ugly and da-da-da-da-da and that, but obviously most people will be displaying Daleks from a front-on perspective or side-on perspective, so it shouldn't really affect you too much. And even if it does, you can always get one of them, have that facing that way, and then have this one facing that way if you were that way inclined, so that one's not got the obvious hinge thing at the back and stuff, Yeah, it's got that sort of glossy, or that sort of sheenish, sort of very black spheres with this sort of metallic-y sort of good metal grey like body. It's honestly probably the closest the classic series in my mind gets to like a war tank, that and maybe the Imperial Daleks at a push, the sort of white and gold. But even then, I think the Remembrance ones are kind of the best version of that. I think the ones in Revelation, the one with Colin Baker, I think they look a bit cheap, but the ones in Remembrance look better. That might be a bit of a controversial statement. I have no idea amongst Dalek fans. But yeah, they both open, the lids open on both, and it's much like every other set. It retails for $19.99. I know most people were very sort of like, is that all we're getting? We're just getting 2 of these again, or whatever, these exact same ones. Because I think, much like myself, a lot of people bought 2 of these packs, the Day of the Dalek ones, to get 2 gunmetal grey ones, and then got rid of sort of a gold one, which is kind of like what I did. I gave the second gold one to my brother. But if I'd have known that, I'd have just waited. If I'd have known this was coming out, I'd have just waited for this one and just had 1 of these and then 2 of those. But it is what it is, I suppose. And that. But yeah, I think they're they're good. Sort of solid 7-8 out of 10. Again, like I said in my previous review of the Evil of the Daleks sets, or Evil of the Daleks, History of the Daleks 6, I think it is. I think character options have really sort of pinpointed what works well when making Daleks and that. I think with Death of the Daleks, what would be really cool accessory is a miniature little TARDIS to shoot, like, to like when they have the shooting sort of range sort of thing in the episode, which is very meta but also very silly, and just I don't get why they're practicing ranges shooting a police box, because only the Doctor has a police box and not other Time Lords. But then also, yeah, it's very silly, but like I would like that as an accessory. So if Al Duar in this hypothetical scenario is watching this video, please get on it, make a small little TARDIS just for me, with 2 Death to the Daleks, I suppose. Although actually quite a lot of people probably are annoyed as well that we didn't get that see-through Dalek in this set, or the Supreme Dalek from Planet of the Daleks, because they are also 2 very unique and therefore very expensive and rare action figures now. And yeah, I would really like at some point maybe those to be re-released, because the see-through one was exclusive to a Dr. Dalek 2-pack back in the day, which I completely missed up on, missed buying that one. And then the Planet of the Daleks was part of like the Dalek Collector Set 2, or maybe 1, I want to say, one of the 2, way back when, just really early days of when the classic series figures were originally released. So yeah, those 2 would be cool to get in this History of the Daleks set range, but who knows, maybe they're too expensive. Maybe the Dalek Supreme is a bit too sort of tall, because I feel like he's a little bit taller than your average Dalek. And then obviously the see-through one is very, as I say, unique and different, I suppose. So, would they be able to make a multitude of those figures to that quality control and not have them be a bit, sort of iffy and botched in mass production, if that makes sense. Although I guess if they've done it once before, why wouldn't they be able to do it again? I don't know. Probably some legal jargon and nonsense, probably. Is probably maybe why they can't do that. I'm not sure, but who knows. to quote McCoy, Sylvester McCoy's Seventh Doctor, only time will tell. I suppose it always does. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate, and subscribe to the channel.